Where are we going?
Seattle.
For what?
For the first ever comic book store in the world.
We will see you there. That would be hard to move around.
To say anything?
Yeah, we made it to Golden Age Comics, the oldest comic book store in the world. It took us a little while though, but here we go. Let's look inside. Say something.
Are you...
So as you saw from the opening, we visited the oldest comic book shop in the world, Golden Age Comics. It opened in 1961 in Seattle's Pikes Market. Originally, the shop was open by a man who sold it in 1971 to Robert Dyke for $1,000 and a note from his mother. That's right, a note from his mother was needed to purchase the comic shop at the time because Robert was in his teens. He was only 19 years old when he bought the shop, and he still owns the shop today, all these years later. That is 53 years ago. So he's been running the shop for 53 years. I'm betting he's probably the longest owner of a shop as well as owning the oldest shop. The shop is interesting. I think my wife...
Hard to find.
Go ahead.
Because it's in a marketplace that has like 6 floors.
It was like a maze.
Yeah, so when you're trying to look at the map, you're like, okay, it says turn right. It's not like that. And there's not really a map of the market that we saw.
No.
So very hard to find.
So we were there early one morning and we wandered around. My wife put it best. She said that she could probably do all of her Christmas shopping in Golden Age Comics. It comes off as a typical mall-based comic shop. And what I mean by that is that in a mall-based comic shop, they have to have merchandise for everyone. So it has to be more spread out than a regular comic shop. A regular comic shop has predominantly comics, while a mall comic shop has more merchandise, stuff for everybody who's passing by, who's shopping in the mall. People aren't going there just for the comic shop. So it's not saying that a bad thing by calling something a mall comic book shop. They're very needed. They probably do better business than a regular comic shop. But Golden Age Comic Shop comes off as a mall comic shop, but it is also a great comic book shop. They had a very large selection of comic books as well as merchandise, and some really good comic books. Of course, in a mall-based comic shop, they have tons of Funko Pops. They have all different types from all different movies and TV shows. They even had some from The Wire, which I had no idea existed until we actually went into Golden Age Comics, so thanks for that. They also had a Death Star load of Star Wars stuff. I mean tons and tons of Star Wars stuff. Statues, loose vintage figures, carded vintage figures that were graded. They had a huge selection of Star Wars, probably some of the best selection I've ever seen in a comic book store.
I definitely would have bought a bigger statue of Ahsoka if we were not on vacation and I could easily bring it home, but
yeah, so
I could not transport it, but I definitely would have bought more Star Wars stuff if I could there.
So we took a trip to Seattle to see Golden Age Comics because we had heard it was the oldest comic book shop in the world. The problem is we have to get stuff back. So our vacation did not just entail Seattle, it entailed other parts of the country, which you'll see in future videos. So subscribe so you don't miss where else we made an adventure and tried to check out comic book shops. But Golden Age Comics, we definitely would have spent more than we did, but it's a matter of not only transporting it from Seattle back home, but also we were walking around Seattle that day too, so we would have had to have carried whatever we had with us throughout Seattle and get it back to the hotel, so we didn't do that. But they had other collectibles.
Collectibles I've never seen at any other comic store, collectible store. One of them was they had all of these movie scripts.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
TV pilot scripts. I mean, a whole wall of them, of big movies.
They would be great to get signed.
They would. I mean, I remember seeing Legally Blonde, Edward Scissorhands, Batman, a lot of superhero ones. Just so many movie scripts. And I've never seen that at another store before.
It was a whole aisle in the store. And the store was separated into aisles, Funko aisle, movie script aisle, comic books. But they did have some great comic books. I would have certainly bought some comic books, but I didn't. They had some great old Fantastic Four, which I've been buying. I just didn't feel comfortable carrying it around with me in Seattle or transporting it home. So I didn't buy as much as I thought I would. And they had lots of big key comic books going as far back as the Golden Age. And it actually looked, just looking around, so it looked like they have this section where they have, well, I'll show you right now, where they have their pull list, and it looks like they have a lot of pull lists, which means they get a lot of modern books in, and they're pulling them for their regular customers, which is great. Shows that the store is doing really well. My whole family loved the feel of this store. So it was me, my wife, my daughters, and my daughter's fiance, and it was great for us. We spent more time in there than we thought we would. Golden Age Comics is in Pikes Market, which in itself was a great little shopping plaza.
Yeah.
They had a lot of unique, locally run stores, right? One of the stores was selling different t-shirts, and in the front of their store they had Captain Seattle, which I think should be the market's mascot, but he doesn't really exist. They said it was just done as an art piece years ago for the market. We also found a Zoltar machine.
Yes, we did.
Cassidy made a wish on it.
Magic shop.
Yes, in front of a magic shop, and they were doing magic tricks in the magic shop, even though there was a little kid ruining the tricks that the guy was trying to do, which was kind of rude. And I saw something I haven't seen in a couple of decades, a psychic chicken machine, which I used to see when I was a kid. There was shops filled with sports memorabilia. We're in Seattle, big
Art.
Mariners, art, pottery. We saw some some super frogs, some things made out of frogs. The Pikes place is great, just for tourists. It's perfect for tourists. They have all kinds of Seattle stuff, all different kinds of food. Right across the street from the oldest Starbucks, right?
Yeah.
Starbucks was right across the street. The only thing I didn't like was the famous gum wall. And Cassidy will explain the gum wall.
I mean, it's an alleyway right next to the Pike Market. Like, you can get into the Pike Market using that alley. And for years, people have been putting gum on the wall. And
After they chew it.
It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a gum wall.
Looks like this. Filled with gum. Like, some parts it was dripping and oozing off. It was... Right next to that was a graffiti wall that was kind of cool. It was very artistic. There's a lot of artistic-y things in Seattle. So let's see what we bought. We actually did buy some stuff.
Small things.
In Golden Age comics.
What color you got?
Yeah. There's...
Well, wait, let me look up.
Here's Golden Age comics, how you can reach them, their address. You can reach them online. It's a very, very cool place. So here's what we bought, but before we discuss what we bought, I just want to thank Ganny, who has worked at the store for 18 years. She helped us get in there. We had been emailing back and forth for a couple of weeks that we were going to visit, and she said, definitely come in and visit, record. We got to chat with her. She gave us some of the history on Golden Age Comics. It was really nice meeting her. Wonderful. One of the people you really want to meet in a comic book shop and just chat about comics and chat about the history of Pike Market and how it used to be a horse-drawn carriage place where one side of the street where the market was where the horses could poop. The other side of the street, the horses could not poop there, so they did a good job of getting the smell out. But let's look at what we bought. Cassidy, you can show us what you bought first. Everything's going to be small because we had to carry it around.
Yeah, so I did see things from fandoms that I don't often see in stores. I'll see them at conventions, but not at, like, comic stores. So I really only I bought 2 magnets. So one is from Doctor Who. I really like the art of it. So it's the TARDIS. Greetings from the TARDIS. Nice. And they had a few other ones. Like, they had a Greetings from Gotham, the happiest place on earth or something. I just thought that they were, like, funny and ironic. And then I got a Labyrinth magnet, which I don't ever really see Labyrinth.
We never see Labyrinth
merchandise. So they had a few magnets. I was between this one and a few other ones, but I went with this little guy. And then the only other thing I got was Nightmare Before Christmas mini Funkos.
If you haven't seen the mini Funkos yet, they're actually completely miniaturized versions of regular Funkos. Like, you could take them out of the box and they look like Funkos, but they're, Funkos are this big. These are
I just think that they're so cute. And they don't take up a lot of space.
Yeah.
So, I mean, compared to my hand.
I think it's Funko trying to help Funko collectors who are running out of space buy more Funko Pops.
Yeah, they're so cute, and I've started to love them.
Easy to display. There's some Star Wars ones behind us on the shelves too. I got Star Wars ones for my birthday.
Since it was small, it was
easy to carry, easy to stick in luggage. I also bought some stuff. Here's the bags they give. So that has the Golden Age logo and the address and the website if you want to check them out. www.goldenagecollectibles.com. Definitely check them out. If you're ever in Seattle, you have to go to the store. It's like Mecca. It's the oldest comic book store in the world. So let's see what I bought. I actually bought some Star Wars stuff. Well, I started collecting Star Wars again, thanks to Brian, who's a pain in my butt, but he's got me collecting Star Wars stuff. Here's the stickers that they had. Here's a card. Get the information. I'll put that in my card book. I actually bought a magnet also. I bought a Batman magnet. It will go on one of the file cabinets behind us. And I bought Star Wars. Like I said, I've been collecting again. It's hard not to. I bought the miniature Snaggletooth. Not the big blue one, but the miniature one. Prices were really good. These easy to carry around. He was only 25 bucks. Definitely worth to me. And I bought a Gamorrean guard and a case for it. I'd never seen these cases before. I'm going to try to buy more of them. I think they were only $5 a pop. But look at how nice that displays. We weren't sure the Gamorrean guard would fit in it because of his stomach. But there you go, Gamorrean guard. Perfect for these. I'm going to try to buy more of these to display in a minute. Look at how nice that looks displayed. And I bought one more thing that Cassidy found for me. A deck of flashcards. In my collection, I have some other flashcards and some other Justice League cards, but this will go good in the collection.
Anything the Flash.
Again, everything's very small, easy to put in our luggage. I would definitely have bought in some Fantastic Four Silver Age comics they had there, reasonably priced. I just didn't feel comfortable carrying them around me the whole day and, you know, possibly getting squished. But overall, Golden Age comics, definitely a great place to stop. Love the history behind it. Love the way the store is set up. It's really inviting for everyone to come in a perfect part of Seattle, Pikes Market. And
love the merchandise.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff to do in the area. For the whole family could go. You visit Starbucks. There's a little amusement park to the side. So this was definitely a good trip to the oldest comic book store in the world. I could check that off my list now.
That you didn't even know you had.
I know. Next will be the biggest comic book store in the world. I got to figure out where that is. Stay tuned. We have other things coming up. Our travels included some visits to comic book shops in another state, which was interesting. And we also visited in Seattle the Museum of Pop Culture, which was fantastic. Subscribe so you didn't miss those. Thanks for watching. Love what you collect.
Collect what you love.
We'll see you next time.
We would be honored if you would join us.